Hey, today I'm talking about my 5 least favorite new movies of 2023. And this is out of a total of 87 new movies I watched this last year. I do have to add though that normally these would all be movies that I didn't like, but this past year, I didn't actually watch any new movies that I didn't like. I was kind of selective about it. So how my ranking system works is it goes didn't liked, meh, liked, quite liked, really liked. And so, again, normally these would be in the didn't liked category, but because of how it all turned out, 2 of these are in the meh category, and 3 are actually in the liked category. So like, even though the title of this video is negative, and I'm gonna be kind of negative, I still liked 3 of the 5 movies that I'm talking about. So like, keep that in mind and don't be too mean with your comments about my opinions. Because I've gotten some really mean ones this year, and they weren't great. I didn't enjoy those. Thank God Oppenheimer isn't in this video. That would be the worst. I liked Oppenheimer. I thought it was okay. It was either too long or too short. That was my issue with it. If you want my whole opinion on that, just go to that video. But that was a really controversial opinion. Also, my opinion on The Boy and the Herring. Someone left an essay's worth of words being real mean to me about thinking that it wasn't the greatest movie ever. I thought it was just fine. Oh my God, that one gets me too, because he's just like, you're just doing this for attention. And I'm like, I thought the movie was just okay, and I'm doing that for attention. Normally if someone's like, oh, I hate this really good thing, they do that for attention, not, yeah, it was all right. Usually just saying it's all right is not like a giant plea for attention. I didn't do it for attention. You can think I did though, if you really want. That's fine. You can agree. Oh my God. I was complaining to one of my friends about a troll comment. It was a very mean comment about how I'm basically an idiot for my opinion. And again, I was just venting to one of my friends. She agreed with the troll. And I'm like, what are you doing? When someone's complaining about a troll comment, you don't agree with the criticism against the person who's complaining. Like, you can agree with the comment, but like, you're a friend, you're a trusted person, and they're releasing their emotions to you, and you're taking advantage of that situation and being a dick. I didn't appreciate that, Nicole. How dare you? So that was fun. I'm really glad that my friend agrees with a mean troll. Made me feel real good about myself. All right, enjoy the video. Hey, today I'm talking about the new Finnish film, Sisu. I don't know if that's how you say it. It's Finnish. This is from the studio that brought you John Wick. And the basic premise is, what if John Wick was an older man alive during World War II and he killed a bunch of Nazis? That's it. It's fine. There were definitely like good kills, and like it's always fun to see Nazis getting brutally murdered because fuck Nazis. My favorite kill was in the landmine section. That was great. I don't know. There were a few things that threw me off with it. First off, the Germans in the film were speaking English. I dislike that just because it's Germans during World War II. Have them speak German. It's not that difficult. And on top of that, there is not a lot of dialogue in this film. They easily could have had it as just subtitled. Like, they have Finnish stuff subtitled at the end, so why couldn't you do it throughout with German? And on top of that, like, the main character is a silent protagonist, and that's definitely a thing that you can do to great success. But when you do that, you need to make sure to still be able to give them a lot of character and story, and this guy doesn't really have character or story. They just establish that he is this unkillable killing machine, and his family's all dead, and he really wants to take his gold and turn it into money. That's all his character is. It's very John Wick-esque, but where John Wick stands above is that it has this really interesting lore wrapped around everything. So you spend so much time just kind of thinking about that and being like, oh, what does this mean? What is this weird thing? What is all of this? Well, you're watching kind of mindless violence. And even though there were good kills in there, there was a lot of dumb stuff too. Like, I kept getting so annoyed. There were so many times the Nazis had opportunities to just straight up kill the main character, but they didn't. So yeah, that was was just very frustrating. So I still liked the movie. It was fun, but I don't think this is one you really need to go out of your way to see. Like, if you're interested in it, I would say watch it, but wait for it to be on streaming. Like, you don't need to spend 20 bucks on this and watch it in IMAX. Like, that's not worth your time. So yeah, it's good. It's just not amazing. It would be kind of cool if this tied into John Wick, like this was some sort of a prequel. I'd be down for that. Today I'm talking about the new movie, The Blackening. The basic premise is a group of college friends are meeting up for the first time in a decade at a cabin in the woods. But wouldn't you know it, some scary shit happens and maybe some murders. And it's okay, first off. I really love the poster. That's a really great, really funny, interesting poster. The movie itself isn't that funny. Like, it's kind of funny. There's definitely funny moments in there, but it's really just relying heavily on classic horror movie formula and not doing anything really interesting with it besides having an all-black cast. But that's not innately interesting. Like, even the characters themselves don't really have a lot going on. Like, it was near the end of the movie and there was like some character resolution that was happening, and I realized, oh, this is the only story that happened within this movie. Like, between characters. It was just this one little bit of drama, and that's it. And then, like, the mastermind behind all of the killings and stuff was really, really obvious. And it almost seemed like the movie didn't know what it wanted to do. Because, like, there's a section where, like, they start playing a game, and it's like, oh, this movie's just gonna be them playing a game? Okay. But then they were going through it really fast, and I'm like, okay. And then it kind of didn't feel like they knew where they wanted to go from there. They were just kind of like winging it. I don't know. It feels like the movie's trying really hard to be smart and meta and clever, but it's not doing it enough. And there aren't enough jokes, so it's just kind of a run-of-the-mill horror film that's okay. Like, it's fine. I'm not upset that I watched it, but it's not what I was hoping for. So would I recommend it? Yeah. If you really like horror movies, it's worth checking out, but I would say wait till it's streaming. You don't need to run into the theater for this one. It's good, it's just not incredible. Hey, today I'm talking about the new movie, Air. I hate the name of this movie so much. That is the dumbest fucking name for a movie, period. You had a good name, Air Jordan. It's fucking iconic. Why the fuck did you cut off Jordan? It's not like you didn't say his name in the movie. Michael Jordan is all over this movie. His name, not his face. You don't see his face ever, which I think was the correct choice. That's a good idea. But no, I hate one-word movie titles in general. I think they're lazy and dumb and just for marketing purposes because they think that we're lazy and dumb and can't remember shit. It's fine. You can do short titles. It's okay. You don't have to do long ones like I'm thinking of ending things, or you could be cool and interesting like The Matrix and have an original one. No. You just went with Air. Do you know what I think of when I think of the word air? I think of breathing. I think of oxygen. I think of the atmosphere. I think of the sky. I think of clouds. You know what I don't fucking think of? Basketball. I don't immediately recall Air Jordans. I don't think of shoes. I don't think of Michael Jordan jumping through the air. That was iconic 30 fucking years ago. It's not iconic. I mean, it's still iconic now, but like, no, you had a cool fucking name. Just name it Air Jordan. It's so easy. That's all you had to do. 2 words. Not that fucking hard. The name of the website for the movie is airmovie.com. That's so fucking dumb. Oh my God, I hate this so much. The movie's all right. The movie's fine. Okay, I'm done with that rant. I'm done ranting. So the basic premise is, this is about the team that created Air Jordans. Specifically, like, the guy whose mission it was to find a basketball player, to sign to Nike, and then create a whole brand around them. It stars Matt Damon, directed by Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck's also in the movie. Jason Bateman's also in it. And so is Chris Tucker and Viola Davis. And it was all right. Honestly, it was fine. So, like, my actual issues with the movie are that it was too long. It should have just been like an hour, because there were so many times they like repeated information. Like, I believe it was Matt Damon went to go talk to Viola Davis, and then afterwards he talked to Ben Affleck about it, and then Jason Reitman about it, and then Chris Tucker about it. And it's like, you just had the same scene 3 different times slightly differently. That's not good storytelling. You're repeating information so much all over the place. It's not just that one example, but it's several times throughout the film. And it just feels like they were padding the runtime. And honestly, honestly, I hate where the movie ended too, because the movie ended as they finished the deal, when they signed the deal. That's the end of the film. And then there's a metric fuck ton of text after that. And it's like, yeah, I usually expect like some text after a biopic film like this. But there was just so much that it's clear that the story where they ended it wasn't the fucking end of the goddamn story. Air Jordans were insanely popular, and like we all know that, but that's part of the story, so we need to see that part of the story, like all of the good things happening, not just like the text of, oh yeah, it made a metric fuck ton of money. That's cool, right? No, we need to see it making a metric fuck ton of money, and the huge cultural impact that it had. Like, yeah, we lived it / experienced it or know about it, but it's a movie. We need to see the whole thing in the movie. That's what movies do, is they need to tell the whole story, not just part of the story. So yeah, I think if they just wanted to tell the story that they told, it should have just been about an hour long, just been like an ESPN special presentation basically. And if they wanted this to be a feature-length 2-hour film, include the actual stuff that happened. It was alright though, it was fine, everyone gave good performances, it was fun seeing Matt Damon fat, I was like seeing Jason Bateman. So yeah, would I recommend it? If you really are into Air Jordans or basketball, specifically 80s / 90s basketball, then yeah, sure, you're gonna find it interesting. Because it is interesting, it's definitely that, but it doesn't tell the whole story, and that's really frustrating, so yeah. Also, its name is fucking dumb. Hey, today I'm talking about the newest Spy Kids film. This is either the 5th or 7th in the franchise, depending on whether or not you count the Machete movies, which you definitely should count the Machete movies. I recently rewatched all of the Spy Kids and Machete movies and have strong opinions about the franchise, so I'm excited to talk about this newest one, which is not the best. It's not the worst either, but it's interesting. So this stars Zachary Levi, Gina Rodriguez, and Billy Magnuson, and the basic premise is very similar to the first one. It kind of takes a bunch of ideas from the other films and just combines it into one. So essentially these parents are secretly spies. There's this video game, and the video game creator wants to take over the world, and the spies have this Armageddon code that can hack into anything, and the bad guy wants that to take over the world, and it's a whole thing. Okay, so there is a lot that I do like about it. I feel like all of the actors gave good performances. Honestly, like even the kids, for kid actors, they were definitely fine. I've seen much worse kid actors. They were good enough. Zachary Levi is his normal charming self. Gina Rodriguez is always fun to see. Billy Magnuson was definitely the standout, and I honestly think he could have hammed it up even more and it would have elevated the entire film. A lot of my issues are more story-based, honestly, and dialogue. It's more of just like the plot. It's not the worst, but what really gets me is that like the whole crux of this thing, again, is video games. I think in some ways they do improve upon the last film in the series that dealt with video games, insofar as they have goals in the video game and they very clearly establish them, but like the mechanics of the game and just the world design in general is so strange. Like they make several comments about how it's like, oh, this is like old school based graphics and stuff, and I'm like, no it's not. This looks like a modern game. It honestly feels a lot like the mobile game Temple Runner, even in like what they do within the game, which is still very vaguely described. And it's just so frustrating because this is the year 2023. Video games make literally billions and billions of dollars every single year. It is one of the most profitable entertainment things, if not the most profitable one, which means that people know how to play video games. They understand the concept of video games. So when you're basing a movie around video games, you need to have actual video game mechanics. It's not just like smashing a keyboard and the character does something. You need to like actually work it out so it's something really actually for sure happening. And also just like the bad guy makes it so that everyone in the world needs to play video games in order to do anything. But that's just really dumb because like what does beating the game mean? Isn't beating the game beating the creator of the game? Like what is this? What is happening? You're not explaining things well. Yeah, this movie's not bad, but it's not great either. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. I would recommend Spy Kids 2. That movie is fantastic. At time of recording, it is sitting at number 10 in the really like section of my old movies, which is saying a lot. It's higher than Casablanca, and it deserves that spot. So yeah, I don't recommend this. I do recommend Spy Kids 2. That's terrific. Hey, today I'm talking about the new Swiss exploitation film, Mad Heidi. The basic premise is, in a fictionalized version of Switzerland ruled by Caspar Van Dien, the fascist government is obsessed with making everyone consume cheese, but just this one company's brand of cheese. But our main character's boyfriend, Goat Peter, sells goat cheese on the black market, but then the fascist government finds out about it, and so they murder him. And then Heidi gets mad and kills a bunch of Nazis. So there's a lot I like about this film. It's ridiculous and silly. It knows what it is and has a lot of fun with it. There's so many fun ideas. Like, I love the obsession with cheese. The amount of cheese in this movie is just ridiculous. It looks really solid. There are lots of really cool, gross effects. Like, they definitely put the budget into a lot of great effects. Unfortunately, this movie also does a lot of stuff wrong. The basic issue stems from the premise that I told you a second ago, that the boyfriend dies and then she becomes Mad Heidi and kills a bunch of people. That and does a lot of heavy lifting, because in between when he dies and she becomes Mad Heidi, there is a third of the movie that happens in which nothing happens. She goes to prison, there's also a little training montage, but it's essentially nothing. Really nothing happens. And the movie really just stops dead. And then even once we do finally get to her being Mad Heidi and killing some Nazis, it's still really spaced out. Like, her first kill isn't until 50 minutes into the movie, and that's way too late. She should have killed some people right after it happened. Like, boyfriend gets murdered really graphically. That's the best effect in the movie. And then she should have killed a bunch of people right then and there, but she doesn't. She runs away, then she gets locked up in prison, and it's a whole thing. And then she doesn't kill anyone until she tries to escape prison at the 50-minute mark. But once we do get those kills, they are graphic, but not as graphic as they need to be. We almost never see the actual violence happening. We just see around the violence. So like, yeah, we do get really graphic stuff, but we don't actually see the axe going into the body most of the time. And like, I get it, that's a more expensive special effect to see that happening, but we needed it. We needed it more. And just in general, there's just too few kills and they're just too spaced out. And there's not really enough story in this thing or character development. It's like, yeah, it's just a silly, fun movie, but you still need character arcs and stuff. And she should have gotten mad right away. She should have turned into Mad Heidi right away. She can still go to prison, but she needs to kill some people and go ham. This movie started off so strong, and I was so excited for it because the trailer makes it look like it's so much fun. And it is fun at times, but there's just not enough substance to necessitate a 90-minute film. So the movie's okay. I didn't like it, but I also didn't hate it. It's just okay. Would I recommend it? No, which is really sad because I wanted to love this movie. It's got so many great ideas, but it just doesn't land.